Hey, yo, we are in. Okay, shut that, or else I'm going to be looking at all night. Hello, everyone. We are back. We are back for the tonight alone. I am sorry that Evan will not be able to make it, but you have me, and that will have to suffice. So, howdy, yo, everyone. Welcome in to the channel. Live everywhere. Nice. So, I need to rotate. One. Sorry, a couple minutes needed. I was late getting everything queued up, and then I had to use the restroom. So, but we're here now to discuss the thing that I honestly don't want to discuss. In the regards of that, we really shouldn't have to have this discussion, but Catholic King doesn't seem to be, how should I put this, honest. And when it comes down to actually figuring what is right, they tend to be running away. So we'll be discussing that tonight. I got some two people in my brain or on the chopping block tonight, so to speak. So we'll discuss that. Well, so I got two stories, and that's practically it. It's gonna be a chill stream, not too much. We're just gonna be wrecking to a Catholic Answers employee and basically another Catholic Answers employee. So, so oh, I forgot to check. Am I coming in? Yeah, Mike is good. Yeah, sweet. So, anyways, glad that you're all here. It's great to be back doing what I like. That's Cornelius back there. Say hi, Cornelius. Cool. He's a stuffed animal. He doesn't say anything. So, anyways, um, but yeah, I thought I wanted to do this last week, but I left for a trip like the day. I want to say it was like a couple days after. So I've been out for was I out for a week? Yeah, yeah. I was out all last week. So now it's just getting back into the swing of things. I'm glad that you're all again are here. I'm going to continue the streaming. New times. I'm still kind of in the fluctuating periods of how we're going to be doing that, but I am going to not be leaving the YouTube. Unlike some of these other, unlike some of these other, um, YouTubers that are like, it's just a toxic place that I can't function here. I'm not like that. If I have to walk away, I just do it. It's called having the power and self-control not to hit go live. So, but tonight we are going to bring Catholic Answers to his knees. That's a lie. I don't have enough firepower right now. But I will be discussing some disgust I've had with the Catholic Inc. type people. And it's bothering me because of the fact that I thought as Catholics, especially Catholics, who are preaching that we should be living the faith, not just promoting it, but also embodying it. It's just to me, some of these behaviors that are going on are very antithetical to it. And so I just want to discuss this, give an hour or so and get it out of my system and give it into yours. So, anyways, so I think we should just start with the backstory. So, first, about a week ago, or actually a little bit more than that, I guess, based on this tweet. So, if y'all don't remember, if y'all don't remember, um, Joe Heschmeyer, who will be referred to as Heschmeyer for the rest of tonight, mainly because of the fact that the other person I'm going to bring up also has a Joe name. So, Joe Heschmeyer made a video. Let me actually pop that because I also wanted to show um the this. But so Joe Heschmeyer, long time ago. Hold on. There's a thumbnail that I need to just look at. There we are. Okay, so about half a year ago, 6 months or so. Let me share it. So screen sharing. Awesome. So Joe Heschmeyer, those of you who don't know, Joe Heschmeyer's he's a Catholic Answers apologetics guy. Um, that's not how I want it at all. Okay, nope, we're gonna leave it how it is. Okay, so Joe Heschmeyer, he's a Catholic apologetics, right? He's from Catholic Answers. Um, he made a video, this one particularly, this one, the right here down in the corner. And this is what is the biblical male headship, right? And so everyone gave flack for him, reasonably so, because I don't know what it is with these apologetic guys that want to get into the political sphere or go out of their element. And it's like, this isn't apologetics. Like, the what is male headship is not really an apologetic zone. It is the application of maybe the apologetics, but it's a more political. And like with myself, I'm more of a political guy, so I don't usually get into too much of the apologetics. And even tonight, I'm not really doing that much apologetics. I'm just doing traditional, just Catholic values, not too hard. The other half, when I get into Sips with Sarah and Adrian, um, I'll get into it later, but that will be more political because that I have more information in. But this is just I'm just tired of the attitude that Joe is subscribing to, and I think for this lawyer, you would think he would have more intelligence to not do what he's doing. So anyway, so he made this video, right? And so what happened is that Joe Enders, who will be referred to as Enders, hopefully, or Joe, for the rest of tonight. So Heschmeyer made the video. Enders and Tim Gordon made a video discussing over what he had been saying, and then Heschmeyer, being the how should I say, couldn't let it go guy. He couldn't just stomach some pride or some humility, which is ironic because he can stomach a lot. He made another video, and so of course you see Tim in the other headshot. And is that what's incredibly funny is he gets into the political realm. Joe and Tim go at him, and then afterwards they extend an olive branch over to Heschmeyer. And Heschmeyer basically says, "Well, I don't want to interact with you guys. You guys are just unpleasant." Yeah, I really love that that is your defense. And we've heard this before. Trent has done the same thing. Trent Horn has done the same. He's been like, "Oh, I'm not going to talk to Nick Fuentes," even though I bring him up like practically every week because he's unpleasant to deal with. You know, it would be so funny if like the Spanish arrived into the Aztec Empire and they were like, "Oh, these people are unpleasant. They're doing human sacrifices. I think we should leave." Oh, these Native Americans are doing some weird things. Well, no wonder. Um, so, anyways, I'm just to me, when he entered this arena, because he entered the political arena, he did. He's got to freely admit that. Um, so he entered the political arena. You know, he got rebuked or rebutted, and then he made a rebuttal to the rebuttal, which to me is just exhausting. But then when they extended the olive branch to say, "Hey, let's talk about this. We're fellow Catholic brothers," Heschmeyer basically says, "Well, I don't want to talk to Gordon because he's unpleasant." And then you to go to Enders, and he basically says, "I don't know who you are." Which, wow. I love that he used the Jay Dyer approach, the orthobros, who basically say, "Well, you're no one. Why would I debate you?" Which I get it. Coming from a guy who's got, low numbers, I freely acknowledge that though. I don't deny what I am. I freely admit that I am a low-hanging fruit. Um, but to me, that is just intellectually dishonest. Um, Especially when, to me, if what you are imploring for is the correct version of this male headship and what is the patriarchy. And to be fair, there's just a lot of effeminate, uh, well, you're the head of the household, but unless or women should obey their husbands unless the man is doing something wrong. And if you're like, well, what's wrong? Exactly. Why they don't, because what is wrong is very subjective to some of the women, right? Like whenever women talk about what they want a man to be masculine, and then they start espousing things that are not in that realm. It's part of the masculinity, but it's not like this is how you are to be a masculine man, right? And so, um, yeah, thank you, Sporty, for filling in. I was about to get that. So, I cannot read your name. I'll be honest, your Roar. I'm just gonna call you Roar. I can't. I don't know what is a word and what isn't. Anyways, thank you, Sporty. Yeah, but um, yeah, Catholic Ink usually. I guess that's good definition. Catholic Ink is usually this kind of like effeminate, we're nice crowd, but when it comes down to kind of like being strict with their views, they kind of run away. Um, they also kind of have this your robe. Thank you. Your robe. But yeah. So yeah, I do agree with Sporty. Yeah, I wouldn't say yeah, fence sitters. Yeah, fence sitters kind of work, yeah. These are basically the people that will not they will take a stand that is taking no stand. And then when it comes down to defending some Catholic values, they actually run away, which is very ironic. Which is why this bothers me because it's like, especially since this is a Catholic Answers uh apologetics guy, you would think that, all that head knowledge he has would, be embodied, and then it's kind of not. Um to me, this is just one. I think they're scared, and I think Tim's right. Tim was going after Heschmeyer, basically saying that he was fearful. Um, Hold on, do I have that? I think I may have that one. No, he didn't write it here. He wrote it somewhere else. Um, oh no, he wrote it here. Yeah, yeah. So let me rotate this. You know what? I'm gonna shrink this page so that way it should in my view do better. Let me see. So, yeah, that's far better. Far better. Uh Flop? No, it was better the first way. So, yeah, like you can see here cuz so we got into a Twitter thing. Yeah, Tim Gordon's great. I don't know why. Um and you know what's weird? And this is the first point I would like to bring out. One, Heschmeyer, I'm gonna say this fully. I don't know how many times, like since I when what was it, like 6 years ago? I converted about 6 years ago. I knew about Catholic Answers and I knew about the um I knew about Trent Horn, right? I don't know who the F you are. Like legitimately. You showed up because you work for Catholic Answers. And you know how sad that has to be of a career, guys? You know how sad this has to be of a career? That the only reason that people watch you is because Catholic Answers made you someone. This is like a woman who's on Twitch, and the only reason that the guys who watch her game is because she has massive jugs. You know how sad that is? It's not what you are, it's just who you are friendly with. Uh, that's just sad, but, um, I'm not saying that Joe is bad in apologetics, I'm saying that he's a coward. Um, and Jugs, yeah. Um, I made a mistake. Over here. Yeah, but so the problem, I don't say that Joe or not Joe. I've got 2 Joes. We got Enders and Heschmeyer in this discussion right now. But, I think Heschmeyer is, I think, naturally a good dude, but I also think that he is either being A, controlled by someone to not be engaging honestly, or 2, he's just a coward. In which case, neither are a good thing to have as a role model, as a representative of the church speaking out, if he is going to run away from his own brothers who are basically saying, "Hey, let's talk about this so we can actually create the one answer that people should," or, "Hey, there's some things that you said that we disagree with and we want you to clarify." And instead of clarification or talking with his fellow brothers, he basically said, I'm better than you and I'm more important and I don't want to do it. So bye. Which is dishonest as hell. Because to me, Heschmeyer did one mistake. And that one mistake, and I wrote this in a tweet. Let me go find the tweet actually. Let me find the tweet. I did this in a tweet and then everyone was like really everyone was a dick about it. So I wrote this about unpleasantness because Heschmeyer made this post. So that he made this post, and I always find it funny. I will say this: the apologetic guys. I've noticed this one thing: the apologetics coming from Catholic Answers and Catholic Inc. They only deal with one thing: converting people to the faith. But what happens after? Right? After they get into the faith, after you take out their objections to the faith, well, what does the faith mean in my life? And I don't know if they do really that much content, unless you want to be like Trent Horn, which was talking about worship music the other day, which I had to roll my eyes when I was going through it and go, "This is what Catholic Answers is paying for." But yeah. Yeah, Joe needs to grow up here and learn to like, to be fair, all men tell their wives what to do, but the best wives don't even have to be told. Uh, so he made this and I do agree with, Joe and Tim that he should grow a pair and face them. Like, this isn't mind you, this wasn't just a one-off, right? Like, if I made a pop like, even tonight, gonna take a pop shot later, half pop shot. Can you make a half pot shot? I'm gonna kinda go after Adrian from Sips with Sarah. I'm not talking to what do you mean brown girls? I don't if you're talking about Sarah, that's my sister-in-law, so not my problem, and 2, uh brown is very subjective. What do you mean by that? There's Indian, but I'm talking to no girls. I'm lonely, regrettably right now. But you know, the one video I could excuse, right? This video over here, I could excuse the one. He's gonna go into it, but when you made the other one, you were in a indirectly no, you were in a unwritten rule that if they come after him, thank you, Sporty, keeping me on my toes. But no, not Gordon. Sorry, Heschmeyer broke or is implied into an unwritten obligation. You know, like in basketball, like even in basketball, like I've been watching basketball. This is the first season I actually watched. And what's funny is that whenever it comes down to the fourth quarter and the teams are like, 105 to 90, right? And the team that has the 105, they don't score again to just make them go higher. They kill where the basket is, right? It's out of sportsmanship and honor not to, you know, score again because it's just good sportsmanship to not beat him while he's already down. And Heschmeyer's in the same incident. He entered the fray with the first video, which I'll excuse. You're gonna do one, fine. Yeah, you're gonna get made fun of, which is what you are opening yourself to, but very well. But when you made the second one and you specifically, like, for crying out loud, Tim's name is still there. 6 months later, he's still going after Tim Gordon. Um, I have no idea if he goes to a Byzantine church, but oh, was this Trent's episode about the Groypers was so womanly? They are more concerned about being base than Catholic. Oh no. Again, well, and this also adds to the fire. This really adds to the fire though, because Trent also has the same arguments when he's dealing with the Groypers. He's like, "Well, I won't talk to Nick because he made fun of my wife." I'm like, "Dude, we make more fun of you than your wife. I don't know what you're talking about." Like, I will openly call you circumcised in your face. Like, I don't think you should be worried about what we say about your wife. Like, that's low. That's like not even in the picture, bro. So come in and face us. Talk to Pine Seb, talk to someone so you ain't saying lies, which I thought as Catholics we're not supposed to slander or lie. Hmm? Calumny's a bitch, but unless it's against our supposed enemies, in which case it's perfectly okay. Huh? So again, Heschmeyer entered into okay. Good grief. Sorry, I just want a slight tangent. Sorry, let me finish before I go on the tangent. But Heschmeyer is indirectly, or we'll just say indirectly needs to have this discussion because if he pulled him in. This is not just a, simple, hey, we did a video and here's some stuff that we critiqued. This is, hey, we did a reaction. We made a video. There's a reaction. And then I reacted to the reaction. You kind of are due to talk with them if they extend a hand. And mind you, Tim and Joe extended a hand to Heschmeyer, and Heschmeyer basically told them that he was just bigger and um, they were unpleasant, and he just doesn't want to deal with them. Which is ironic because that's one, a lie. No, they were something of worth because he made a video. And you know what the video tells me? Tim is worthy enough of your attention to do another video that you think you should be talking to him. He's big enough that you should have talked to him. And if you're like, well, he's unpleasant, we'll ball up. like, suck it up. I'm so sorry that doing hard things is somehow not a Catholic virtue. No, it perfectly is. It bothers me. But also, slight tangent. This is why you never see my face in logos or in thumbnails, just to be clear. This is why. Look at that face. You see the face for Tim's? You see that Heschmeyer's face? The little, a baby who sees a woman's boob? Like, and then you go up here to the pro papacy one, and it's like, I'm sorry, that's so creepy, and then we have the, reverse soy jack with the um, good grief. Good grief. Wow, he does this a lot. That's so lazy. Sorry. This is where editing Eli is like, this is a bad thing. Look at it's just bread and down under, and it's the same photo. It's the same picture. Posted in the same probably week, and it's the same what? Eli is it into his YouTube? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? I'll be honest, I'm gonna need that one explained to me. Being logged into his YouTube while streaming. What do you mean? What is that? Anyways, slight tangent over. But okay, there we are. Yeah. Yeah. I can go to my search history. Joking. But you know what's weird though? Sorry, I'll go back for 1 second. You know what's interesting though? Is I thought, this is why I also get on the apologetic guys because for some reason they also enter into the like the pop culture. Okay, we that's available for everyone. But when you get in political stuff, that's kind of like outside of your purview. That's why I don't do apologetics, which is kind of ironic given that which is kind of ironic given that my name is Theology Matters. You would think I would, which I do, but it's like, you know what's interesting is I when I was going through this, I didn't realize that I also I forgot this photo. This one, the "But I was nice," the false gospel many Catholics secretly believe, that is so ironic because that's basically what he's saying. It's like, "But I was nice." Yeah, niceness is overrated sometimes. But I never realized how, like, political, like, Heschmeyer actually got. Like, look, the Jews, like, he's literally pointing out the Jews, and he puts in Candace and Nick. And if it's like, "Well, that's just for the thumbnail," well, then you're being dishonest with your thumbnail. Don't do that either. Yeah, the Trump one, I can't excuse that. But like some of this other, I didn't realize that he actually does a few more political discussion than I thought. Okay. Operational security when logged in, people build a profile on you and see what's. I have no shame in what I watch. So, yeah. You don't even have to do apologetics, just make spoof videos dunking on Protestants. I did. It was my most popular video actually. Right now it probably is. Is it? Hold on. Has it changed? It's probably my still my most popular video. Oh no, no, no. It's close to it. It's the 4th. But so anyway, so getting back into kind of the story though. But so Heschmeyer has been ducking uh Joe and Jordan. It was like, "Oh, look at these hard-hitting apologetics, how about you grow a pair?" Ironically, I wrote one thinking nothing of it. I was like, "Oh, I'll just make fun of Heschmeyer and move on." Ironically, Heschmeyer replied. I was not expecting that. I freely admit that. I did not think he was gonna reply. I thought it was too small of a fish for, him to care. And so he basically was like, "I'm not interested in debating them, nor I'm not interested in debating them. It's just that I don't they're unpleasant to deal with, and isn't the strength of their argumentation." It's like, no, it's an excuse. Um, there are people like I do not like the Catholic Christian, and the Catholic Christian has been invited to Catholic Answers. Why don't I like the Catholic Christian? Well, because of the fact that he's kind of gay. And I say that in a vague way, not in the way of that he likes cock. Um, it's just, especially the one time when I helped out Pine Sap and DoorDash by sending him the Groiper video for 15-minute video. He basically sent me a message on DM and he was like, that was after, just be clear, Sporty, that was after. And besides, the ratio was already high. I just wanted to just make it a little bit more. I just wanted the knife to a little bit more. Uh, just to improve it just a wee bit. Um, but the thing that I wrote here, and I think this is actually a really good summary. It's unpleasant. Sure, I totally believe you. That's the reason, right? Like he's writing that it's unpleasant. Uh huh. Yeah, I'm sure that's the reason, right? Um, and so the thing that I was making fun of him later is that, and this I give the same response for Trent. Trent's also guilty of this, which is very ironic because these are the Trent's a B crier of the Aeon accounts that make fun of him, and so that's why he doesn't want people to be Aeons. Um, and what's funny is Trent and Heschmeyer don't have to worry about backlash. They don't have to. Well, one, they need opinions worthy of backlash, but that's a whole different other discussion. But what's funny is they just tell you, like right here, right now, I'm perfectly safety in basically saying F you to a Heschmeyer, right? If I wanted to say that, which I don't, I could freely do that and nothing really is going to happen to me, at least in the mortal world, right? And neither with Heschmeyer and Trent, they can't, there's nothing to stop them from saying dumb things. Why? Because there's a screen separating us from them. Why? And meaning that they are safe. And they can say whatever they want behind the screen and then just go, "Oh, well, I'm not going to talk about this anymore because reasons." It's cowardly. And for Catholics, I would expect better, especially those who are in a more prominent position. I would be expecting a little bit more courage. You fight Protestants all day, every day. But when it comes down to Catholic brethren who go, I kind of disagree with you. Nope, nope. We're not, no, 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 we're not having this discussion. And it's like true men, true Catholics face their opponents with honor. And they also have honor. He entered as I entered this last one, and everyone did not have the brain capacity to understand what I wrote because they don't know the past. You entered the political/patriarchy sphere willingly. Now you face the consequences, and the consequences is Joe and Gordon to discuss it thoroughly, and so that way the Catholic brethren can actually come to a conclusion and a worthy discussion. And which is ironic because I know Heschmeyer was at the second Catholic Creators Conference, which it's all about unity, right? Like community. Yet I guess that wasn't put into Heschmeyer, although a Big Mac was. Um, so yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I left it there. Um, because he wasn't going to talk to me again. But I do agree with and I think, and this is why I want to go back to it. Actually, what Joe said here is actually really good. I'm going to Tim, but Joe replied to the not debating, and what Joe by that Joe Enders, he basically said, "Imagine being so overtly concerned with unpleasantness that you abandon an adversary you accuse of spreading error in the church." Right? Like, what's weird? Like, isn't that weird? To be like, "Hey, I'm in banding. Like, I'm not going to debate you, even though I think that you're lying." I'm sorry, but why do you debate Protestants? Yeah, the same reasons. Like, it doesn't. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Like, do you not understand the logic of that? And what's funny is he's a lawyer, so I know he does, or he should. And if he doesn't, good grief. That would explain so much about our culture. I won't lie. But Gordon said the right thing. And I think here, um, he easily. I knew Gordon more than I knew Heschmeyer. Yeah, Gordon I knew more than Heschmeyer. Why? Because Gordon actually talks about some things other than apologetics. After you get a few years out of being being a new Catholic, you don't need Catholic answers to be your daddy. There's other people, there's the catechism. Like, after a few years, Catholic answers you don't really go to. I have not gone to Catholic answers in forever. I won't lie. I watch Trent's stuff mainly to make sure he doesn't say some weird things. So, but yeah, Trent or Gordon has definitely been ill fit. Someone up high is telling them not to engage with a certain group. I will tell you all, I was in the Catholic Answers conference, or not Catholic Answers conference, Catholic Creators Conference last year. So not this one that was a couple months ago. This one was last year. So what's funny, this was the second one. They just had their third, so I went to the second one. What's funny is when I was talking to someone at Catholic Answers, they basically told me because of how my politics are and how aggressive I am, because I basically told her, or I told, no, I didn't tell her. Sorry, different person. I told them that I think that women. I was saying like, oh, we should get rid of the 19th Amendment, and they were a little bit like, oh wow, and yeah, they basically told me that I'd never be hired from Catholic Answers, and kind of knew that. Also, don't they basically said I'd probably have to um kill a little bit of my aggression, which I was like, yeah, that's totally gonna happen. So all I'm saying is that, to me, and honestly, just overall, Heschmeyer, don't reveal your power level, bro. uh, yeah. Uh, yeah. Hey, I didn't need to, my power level exudes from me. I can't really stop that. And I'm not calling it power level. I refuse to do that. I don't know why. I know it's from Dragon Ball, but I am not doing that. So anyways, after that though, like I wouldn't have cared. Oops, sorry, wrong tap, wrong thinking. I wouldn't have really cared if Heschmeyer didn't try to also be a prick to me, which is very funny because, like, if he wants to have a dialogue with me, he kind of ruined it by being a prick. He was unpleasant. I don't want to engage with him, right? After I basically I didn't slander him. I'm calling him out for being a coward. That's not slandering. That's just reporting fact. Just like the fact that his BMI is probably in the overweight column. I saw him at the Oklahoma men's conference. There was a Joe Heschmeyer was speaking, and yeah, he was fat. And I'm fat too. I freely admit that. I have got some weight on me, and I need to get rid of that. But Heschmeyer definitely is bigger than me. So, I wouldn't have. So later, I got into an argument with afterwards. Oh wait, hold on. Before I continue, did I say everything? Sorry, I don't have notes. This is the I'm low key Eli. I have nothing with me right now. And main point: if Heschmeyer is listening, which I doubt it, if he ever listens, he needs to talk with them. He needs to screw that it's unpleasant. And if he doesn't talk to him, then that just shows me one thing: you're a coward. And the thing about cowards is you begin not to trust anything else that they pop out, right? Like I can trust um Enders and or Joe and Gordon because they actually are brave enough to face people. And so I trust what information they pop out because the character amplifies information. And right now I'm listening to I don't listen to him at all, but Heschmeyer, it's like you're going to talk to these other Catholics, but yet you don't actually have the balls to actually like defend your Catholicism, especially from other Catholics, which it shouldn't be that hard of a battle. And if you're going to run away from that, then why would I listen to your type of Catholicism? And this is where the Catholic King kind of comes into play. Like, why am I going to listen to this type of Catholicism that is just effeminate and gay and honestly antithetical to Catholicism, especially to masculinity? But then again, I'm talking to a guy that probably eats like 3 Big Macs every day. So, you know, if we like, all I'm gonna say, and I know people are like, "Why are you making fun of these fat?" Well, because here's the thing: I think being fat is nothing, or having being fat is a minor thing compared to having no honor. Because if you don't have any honor, then you're basically not a man. Because I can't trust your words, and if I can't trust your words, then I think every sentence you're saying is a lie, or it's misrooted in a way that I think is uh manipulative. And this isn't like, and the reason I'm tired with this is because I dealt with this when I was in college too. I dealt with the same type of guys who told you, well, you shouldn't be doing that because it's rude and hurtful and it's not how you two should be a true Christian. And I'm so and sorry, one. And I'm so fucking tired of it. I really am. I don't know how many I had my Bible study of the year come after me because I deemed that women should be submissive, and then my college priest came after me for exactly the same thing. And none of them would do this in public. They wouldn't do they all had to do it in private because they were afraid that I actually make sense. And this is why I say when Heschmeyer's running, I know why they run. Because they have no arguments other than groupthink and mob rule to keep them in play. And that's why Catholic Inc. It's like they have this organization so they can keep the guys with the correct opinions. And when they have a lot of guys with the correct opinions, anyone that's out of that group, they have to defend their views so hard, but they're not going to be listened to. If someone like say Trent or Heschmeyer basically says, "No, don't listen to them. They're liars. Like listen to these other guys." Mm. So again, I wouldn't have cared any more about this. I was going to have Joe on so we could discuss this, but I just let it be. But it's what Heschmeyer did after that I had to give him some flack tonight because this pissed me off. So Heschmeyer, so I got into I wouldn't even say I got into a hissy fit, but I started talking to, I don't know if you guys are on Twitter long enough, but there's this guy Reformed to Rome. Now, he does a lot of good. I will freely admit he does a lot of good when he goes after these anti-Catholics on Twitter. That's the only never. I'm not an apologetic guy, so I'm not the guy to do that. I'll have a discussion. You know, that was another thing too. Joe or Heschmeyer kept saying like, "Oh, why would I have to debate them?" Okay, you don't. Just talk to them. Like it's that simple. It's literally a conversation. Do you really need like a week of prep time to have a Chicks Notes conversation? Like even tonight, I didn't prep for tonight. I didn't prep for tonight. I'm saying all this off the cuff. I've thought about this, so I'm activating a few files. But other than that, it's all free-handed. And if your lawyer brain can't come up with stuff just out of the thin air, damn. So, anyways, I wouldn't have cared if Heschmeyer, uh, this is the end. I didn't care. I didn't want to get into it too much. That's that's Joe and Tim's battle. I'm I'm too small, freely admitted. And also two, it's not my fight. So I'm not going to get into it too much. Well, Reformed to Rome. Yes, Reformed to Rome. He started getting after me because I started making suggestions, or I pointed out the inconsistency in how Trent Horn literally debated on abortion. I think it was abortion. Trent Horn debated abortion with Destiny. Yes, the cuck Destiny, and a literal OnlyFans. Can I say only OF girl? Let's hope I get away with that. I thought OF, if you said it all out, was censorable. I don't know. Either way. So he literally debated a hoe. And Heschmeyer can't debate against two Catholic brethren who are very much like known in their fields. Or like especially Tim, right? He's not going to talk to Tim. But his colleague Trent is going to. So Reformed to Rome basically said that was not a correct correlation, which no, I think it is. They both work for Catholic Cancers, and they're both Catholics, so we're getting some very similarities going off. They're both debating a non apologetic discussion. I think it's pretty clear. So, anyways, Reformed to Rome. Eventually, his skull was very thick, and so I basically started making fun of him, and calling him an idiot because I don't do long text or Twitter threads. I just don't. After a certain few responses, if you're also honest about your writing. I was not getting that from Reform to Rome. He basically was defending he was fanboying over Heschmeyer and Trent. So I was like, I ain't going to get him to understand what I'm getting at because he is so blinded. So I basically just like, I'm done. I don't remember what, but I called out that I do some sponsoring. So this last year I was a sponsor. I was helping out for RCA. And so Reform to Rome basically also is having a Spurg fest over that because Gordon says some things that are very offensive, like saying a cuss word. Oh no, the horror, That is so horrible. But then we literally have like fellow Catholics that are like, oh yeah, abortion's okay. Or you have like James Martin, right? Father James Martin. It's like, oh no, they're doing that. But you know what's worse? Gordon said the R word. Like should Gordon have said that? Okay, probably not. But if you're really gonna give him shade for that, an intense shade, you really need a calibration. Like, and don't be all like, the and this isn't a pious attitude. And this is what I was getting on earlier with people. It's like they try to make you seem like the only way to be a true Catholic is to be how I envision true Catholicism. It's like, no, no. Being Catholic doesn't mean that we follow a consistent line, but some behaviors are not immediately seen as obtuse. So, anyways, I made I I called the Reformed Rome effeminate dum dum, because he said this one thing, and this pissed me off because I think for a church that is currently dealing with a youth surge, so we definitely need them in RCA because I can tell you when I joined in 2020, my parish, which is a very lively parish, was filled with a bunch of boomers. When I'm there, I make the average age drop because we're dealing with 60s, and then it's like 20, and it just ooh, and like it's a massive shift down. So Reformed Rome basically, uh, I said that I was helping out, and he said, "Well, that's unfortunate. You should wait until you're a more mature individual." So what I love about what he put there is that, one, you don't know everything that was going in my head, and two, I act way different in RCA, bro. You just are not getting it through your head. And so I'm like, I'm ending this conversation, so I'm gonna ignore you. Um, but I just thought that was intensely offensive to go, well, that's horrible that you help out, that you have checks notes, a charitable heart. I'm sorry. The application of my Catholic faith is unfortunate. This is why I say this is the Catholic ink. It's like, "Oh, no, you're a bit aggressive. You shouldn't be around the church because I'm going to make the church into something that it needs to be." It shouldn't just be this like, "Well, I was a nice guy." No, we're not doing that anymore. You talk to the youth. We are not doing that anymore. I'm the young guy. I am going to be the future of the church, and I don't tell you, none of us are gonna deal with this moderate bull fuck. We're done. Like, you're not gonna get at us to be like, "Well, how dare you say this?" So my incredibly funny. This is just an honorable mention, to be honest. But my favorite thing is Reform to Rome. He wrote, "Sponsoring is good, but not everyone is good to be a sponsor. You're showing why now." Um, and so I reported back. Imagine saying you have to be cleansed of all evil to truly be one of us. And I said, pretty gay, Pharisee. Because as a sponsor, the only rule to be a sponsor is basically be a practicing Catholic. That's essentially the rule. And to be like, that's essentially it. Go to the classes, all that. It's a pretty simple clearance. Um, but all men are dealing with problems, right? We are, even at the end of our age, we're still dealing with. There are still imperfections that we can mold out. So I think if you're gonna say, well, you're showing some behaviors that are ill fit, you mean behaviors that you don't like because they're different from you. Because I had this same issue in college, and that's why I'm always aggressive about this, is because they don't like me because I'm a bit aggressive. Good. We're a Catholic church with different mass rites. Why? Because variety is okay in the church. The church is black, white, yellow, whatever, polka dotted. Why? Because diversity is fine in the church because we are all consistently Catholic with the same creed. But when it comes down to some of these politics and some behavior stuff, everyone is expecting some uniformity, and it doesn't. No, it's not how it goes. So, but I did write. Is it here? That's weird. He deleted it. Hold on. If it's not here. Oh no, he didn't delete it. So I thought he did for a minute. So uh again, getting on to Heschmeyer, because I'm still on Heschmeyer. Reformed Rome was just an honorable mention. And I will find out, sorry, slight tangent, slight on topic tangent. Catholics who debate Protestants all the time have no idea how to debate and talk with other Catholics. I and then don't and it doesn't compute with me how that is, that the same application or the same discussion that you have with Protestants does not translate over to other Catholics. Because I was having an argument with Reformed Rome, and he basically, instead of answering the question I asked him, he basically changed it to something else and then made that the argument. And I had to be like, "Congrats, you are acting like a woman." Because, oh, like, when you debate a woman will be like, "Well, yeah, I know you're making some good points, but you're saying it in a loud voice, and we can't have that. I need you to quit the tone." And it's like, you shift the argument. Now you're talking about the fact that I'm have a tone that you don't like, but that wasn't what we were arguing about. And so I called Reform to Rome on that shit because he was doing it. And he didn't like it when I called him gay. Well, I called him gay because he's acting like a woman. Dude, yeah, it doesn't take that. So, anyways, I wrote though that sponsoring is good, and that's all he should have said. Um, sponsors were supposed to model Christ. So I said all this, and then Heschmeyer decided to pop in randomly, which is why I say that this is Heschmeyer just showed his true colors. They couldn't let it be, that he doesn't have enough humility to go, you know what? I'm going to let that go, which I think is also another, which would be another thing that we should work on. But Heschmeyer basically said right here, he tried to quote canon law, I guess, to me. Um, and so, um, Yeah. I love though that at the end he says, "To be clear, I don't know you, and I am not judging your own character, just speaking to the principle." But yet he basically says, "We're not just looking for warm bodies. It actually matters that sponsors act in a Christ-like way. Why would you write this if not to mock me?" Like legitimately, Heschmeyer, you're a lawyer and you can't see the behavior of this. Like out of nowhere, Heschmeyer just decides to unplug himself again. So, I responded with, "Funny you take time out of your day to attempt to humble a nobody, but not those in which you have legitimate issues with your takes." LMNO in all caps. So, but yeah. But then I called out Reform to Rome, and this is what I'm saying. Like these guys don't know what they're arguing for. They just have the script to be like, "Well, you're the bad guy." That's not what we were talking about though. Because I legitimately asked Reform to Rome what was my sin, because he was saying that I did some sins and I should go to confession. Great. Which ones? And all he said is, if you can't see your sins above, I'd suggest a better examination of conscience than the one you have. You say, where? Hold on. Hold on. Where is it? Because your sin was pointed out, and I don't know what sin. So I asked him what sin. Like, what am I supposed to confess? And he just goes, well, you should have a better examination of conscience. So I haven't sinned enough. So I apparently my sin is indecipherable, but yet I've had it. Huh? Yeah, like this is what I'm saying. These guys don't know how to argue with Catholics, which is ironic because they're also Catholics. Um, the other thing I love, and this is one thing that I also wanted a somewhat slight tangent. Um, is it here? No, it's over here. He said, "Print off your tweets and send them to your priest." Okay, one, I'm just gonna briefly get into. Yes, I do think your priest does have the authority. I'm not going to deny that the headship the priest has over you. Um, but the priest is also limited in that authority. Like, even when the college priest went after me, uh, thank you, Evan. Um, when, what was it? When the priest talks to you, right? Like, priests are different. Like, some priests will not accept. Some priests will be like, it's anti-Semitic that you're against Israel. But then other priests will be like, if you don't denounce Israel, that we should be funding them, then you're not Catholic. It kind of varies. I did 6-7. Sorry. It kind of varies, right? Like, what type of priest that you have. And honestly, I don't even know what my priest would do. The thing I'm gonna get into, ironically, my priest knew I was doing. He knew I was doing Project Dark Side, and he didn't stop me, which is weird because some of the things he reposts because I follow him on Twitter, I'm kind of like, huh. He's letting me get away with some like trad things, like, and I hear some other things from in my church, and I'm like, huh, intriguing. So I have no idea what would happen if I gave this over to, but my priest also knows me enough to know that I wouldn't just be throwing shade at Heschmeyer and Reformed Rome unless I had reasons. So wow, it did take an hour. Did take an hour to. So, anyways, Heschmeyer, debate Joe Enders and Timothy Gordon. If you don't, you're a coward, and you deserve to be fired from Catholic Answers because people. Yeah, nah, fired. Nah, he's got a family. He shouldn't be fired. He just needs to grow up hair. Which he might have one, but I don't think he can see that down that far. His belly is in the way. You can't. He just sees stomach. Um, So, and yes, I also think like that is a problem. Like, if we're really gonna get, Trent Horn has a hissy fit over like anti-Semitism is like a serious sin. Bruh, talk to your own apologetic guy for being a fat ass. Like, gluttony is worse, bruh. Like, I understand I'm fat too, but like I'm not overweight. Yeah, like I've got weight, but he's got weight. Um, so if Heschmeyer isn't careful, he's gonna go. uh, Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is that really is the type of arguments that the Catholic people will pop out. They'll be like, "Well, you were rude." Wow. I'm so saddened, And like, this is why, like, when people are bemoaning the most simplest and like minute things, it just turns you like it's turned me off. It's just on things. I'm just like, I'm no longer caring if you're like, you know, oh, you did something bad. For all I know, I may have. Like, I do have an introspectiveness, but there is some introspection that it's like, I think you're just not happy that I may be making some discussions that you don't want to go into. And that's why we're moving into Adrian with Sips with Sarah. Hold on before we do. Like, maybe slightly, I guess, but certainly not. Yeah. But here's the thing. Heschmeyer definitely needs to lose some weight. Like, I'm not like I'm saying that as a fat ass too. Freely acknowledge that. Because see, I have the humility to know what I am because I have checks notes introspection. But like, I've seen Heschmeyer. He's kind of big. Um like, I saw him and like his so how do I do this? So, belt, like, his belt was here and his pants, yeah. His like he had the belly loop. Like, he had a pudge sticking out. Like, and I was just like, this is the guy that's gonna tell me how to be a good father. Bruh can't even tell himself not to eat a Big Mac? So anyways, I'm just, when this is the other thing too. It's like the Catholic answers will pull in like the voice of reason, who literally got lost in the sauce. But then I'm a evil guy because I say, the occasional F word, and I believe that women shouldn't have voting rights. Oh no, the horror. Uh, Evan, why are you freely acknowledging that? That's so that's so weird. That's good grief, that's 20 years. Could be worse. I got liked. I was on, so funny story. So hold on, before we go into Adrian. So funny story. I actually got so I have a Sacred Spark account. I know, sadness. But, I got liked recently by a 33-year-old woman. And if you're like, "Wow, that's great, like, what's the problem?" I'm 24, getting to 25. She's older than my brother, who's the oldest. And I'm just like, I don't think I'm the only guy that's going like, "Huh?" It's like when the dog hears something and he just goes, so oh, good grief. Uh, Hagamaxing, I think, is in the other direction, actually. Um, Sporty. T Bro! Bro! That was I was not expecting that answer. I'll really admit that. But anyways, so hopefully I did my job right. If Heschmeyer wants to talk, he got to talk to Joe. You're a bad faith actor who doesn't want to engage with the right type of people because you want to like if Heschmeyer wants to talk, I'll freely talk to him. But like if he wants to be having this discussion, he needs to be having it with Tim and Enders. Why? Because they are the guys that have the main concerns. And again, Heschmeyer walked into it. He did 2 videos talking about the patriarchy and went after Gordon in one. Gordon has a right to face you, and you have a right and a duty, actually, to honor the olive branch that they extended. And if you don't, then you're just a coward and you're freely acknowledging what we already know. So, so now it's been an hour. Oh no. So I wanted to get into also the other. So I got 2 people on the chopping block. So first, before we go anywhere else, I want to talk about um Adrian from Sips with Sarah. So I met Adrian also at the same Catholic Careers Conference. I think Adrian's a chill dude. Um, you know, he nothing, no ill will against him. Like I even told him about what we're discussing. I did send a DM to talk to him, and he basically shoved me off by saying that um, he has better things to do, which is just a dumb excuse because when things matter, you make time. I know so because we're human and we all do the same thing. So, problem being, I want to be somewhat light with this because Adrian recently lost his grandfather. Please keep 3 months ago I lost my grandfather, so it's very uh he's talked about he lost his grandfather I think like a couple days ago. Hold on, let me look. Yeah, he lost him on the 30th, so that was Tuesday. So, so I lost my grandfather too. So I'd like to us all to definitely keep our grandfathers in prayers. So, other than that, oh yeah, big ass spat. Yeah, big spat. Yeah. I was gonna end it, and then my brother was talking to him, and then he still was doing the same stuff with my brother, and I basically called it for feminine responses. So it was insane. I was that day I was on Twitter more than I wanted to be, or that I usually am. But anyways, so I want to talk about Adrian with Sips with Sarah. So I know most of y'all. So this is the and I clicked here specifically is hold on. Yes, and Evan's great granddad. But I stopped it here because this is from the live action conference, the women's conference, right? And so this is the girl in the pink dress. That's not Lila Rose. Ha, that would be funny if it was. That was Nyla Ray. So Nyla Ray is, of course, the OnlyFans girl who supposedly found Christianity, or sorry, I'm not going to say supposedly. She became a Protestant and then immediately started selling courses on how to be a Protestant, and then deleted those, fortunately. And but she's still kind of in the weird mix. So, but what's funny is Adrian discussed this, and he was like, "That's cool that your work has saved babies that would have been killed, but X can't say that a group photo is evil." Yeah, I know, right? You. So, anyways, I gotta pull over this. It's a Pokeball. Why? I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. Gosh, Andrew Wilson. Another guy that probably Heschmeyer wouldn't talk to because he says some naughty words and is unpleasant. Sorry. Anyways, so this is a map I made a long time ago. This is the abortion map right now. Now, I think North Dakota is now in red because of court, but there's only 14 places that have actually like gone after the abortion. And so what I basically said is live action says Oklahoma, or it's abortion is dead in Oklahoma. The pills are currently in Oklahoma though. Furthermore, every state allows abortion. The pro-life groups have not done the work that they should be doing. And so what I'm saying is, I don't know why we're getting a cramp. Good grief. Okay. Uh, shut up, Sporty. It's not contraceptive pills. Those, it's not really contraception if so. Anyways, so I do have methylprostone. Yeah, I do. I freely admit that because of Project Darkside. Working on the video, hopefully tonight, so I can finally post my findings. You're gonna get a little bit of it, I guess, a little bit tonight, but the pro life groups have done nothing. So Adrian responds to me, and he basically says, "Well, because everything isn't stopped, then we must stop it." Well, it's like, what if we were not to have anti-human? And it's like, okay, yes, just because the police, like Adrian basically was saying, well, because the police can't say the police can't stop all crime, we should just disband the police. That's basically what he was getting to, which is a horrible disconnection. The whole point of the police is to stop to keep law and order. Now, is law and order going to be stopped? No, because there's too much of it. But if you're going to, and if that be the case, an abortion, then yeah, why stop it? But what's funny is Adrian brought in this. Well, Life Action has also covered the issues with abortion pills in Oklahoma. They're not pretending it's an issue that doesn't exist. So I don't know what you're referring to. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Live Action has covered this. Yeah. No. So what's funny is he posts then this Live Action article, which I'm gonna go through because it's incredibly funny. Because I had to report to Adrian and I said, "Did you even read the House bill?" So going through, so if you read this, the governor has signed. So this is a new thing. And this I actually found out before or while I was doing Project Darkside. So while I was getting these, doing this project into getting these, I was talking to a bro, bro, give me some credit. I wouldn't, bro, if Uh, I appreciate though that you think one thing is that I have super sperm, which I technically do have, or at least I believe I have, that I would get her pregnant. But two, um, could you at least have made it? Who's the other girl? It's not Bonnie Blue, Lily Phillips. Could you have at least made it someone in my own age range, not this uh prehistoric British dinosaur? Like, even in the filthy joke, Could you have made it at least something? More uh, bro, you know what? I can't really be. No, she's not. She now has a boy toy. She's got a boy toy who knows of her past and is okay with it. So yeah, he's the biggest simp. But anyways, so Governor Kevin Stitt, this is him, which to be fair, he's kind of a low. He seems like a nice guy. The problem with nice guys is that they're weak. Which is why this is we're coming into the um yeah, cuck. We're getting into but we me too. The problem is that they just keep showing up, you know? Uh so the thing is that we were talking about Catholic answers and how the fact that they don't like have the balls. Same thing with the Stitt. He says a lot of grand things. It's not really great. So Oklahoma governor signs bill outlawing trafficking of abortion-inducing pills. This is probably what Adrian read and then sent it to me thinking that he won. Yeah. No. So, he did it this session, really good, the 5th. The House Bill 1168, which is right over here. I'll get into it in a minute. So they did some discussions about what was going on, why it matters, yada yada yada. So the pills are coming into the state. Now here's the thing. She's evil. No, I'm joking. Halfway. I don't like Lila. I'm Lila Rose's second hater. The first one goes to Majorian, and I freely admit that Majorian gets number one. So anyways, but you read this bill. I want you all to read this. So this one is the enrolled. So this is the last one. So this is the bill that matters. This is what you have to read. And so when it's like, oh, it's criminal that I have these pills, it's actually not. And if you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense why this bill exists if I can still get these pills and I'm not in jail. And it's not because of the fact that I did it for a journalistic inquiry. It's the fact that I'll get into it because this bill's sexist, ironically. And I don't say that to be clickbait. I mean to say that like it is. So, so the first page is okay, right? This is only 4 pages. I'm pretty sure that's Wagner, to be fair. Religious hippies number 1 hater. I'm pretty sure it's Wagner. So, I think Trent Horns is probably either Pine Zap or Nick. So, we got to take second place to the guy to some of the other heavy hitters. Yeah, I can't even be Catholic Christians number 1 hater because I'm pretty sure that's DoorDash Thomas. Um, yeah, I don't think I have a hater. I don't think anyone I've beefed with, which is ironic. I say a bunch of crap. You would expect that I have beef with someone, and I don't. Um, uh, which is weird. Yeah, when I went to Catholic Careers Conference, I definitely though got the vibe what I did when I was in college, which was everyone was weary of me though. So except for like a few people. Um, yeah, except for Wagner. Wagner liked me apparently. Good, like good. So, uh, yeah, let's not. No, if I'm gonna have beef with someone, it's gonna be beef for good reasons, not just like I want to. Like, that's the other thing too, like, Heschmeyer doesn't wanna have Enders on and Gordon because they're insignificant, and it's like, okay, but the discussion isn't. Like, I had Pine Sap on because, 1, I was interested in what Trent was not wanting to get said, and 2, I care about the information, and, like, I went after Pine Sap occasionally, like, if you go into what is a Groiper, there's a video on my channel, the stream with Pine Sap. I basically say darn. I didn't know we had beef, Sporty. How to be Catholic? How to be Catholic? I know that guy. Right. How to be Catholic? How to be Catholic? Don't make me do this. What was I getting on? Sorry, I went I literally I did a squirrel. I literally wow, I really am like a dog. It's like I saw a squirrel and just um that's why I hate having the chat open occasionally because it's like I'm getting into it and then it's like I look over and it's like, "What are you guys talking about?" Um, it is perfectly fine. It's supposed to be how it is. But oh gosh. But anyways, what was I talking about the law? No, I was talking about jeez, I don't remember. Anyways, so isn't how to be a Christian? I think this is it how to be Catholic? Is that really a channel? Are you sure it's how to be how to be Catholic? Are you sure it's not how to be a Christian? Um, Evan. Yeah, Evan, are you sure it's oh, I didn't even realize I had my thing up. Whoops. Uh, there's nothing there. I didn't think go to channels. How to be Catholic. Oh, it's how to be a Catholic. Oh, this is Catholic Christian, bro. Did he sort beat channels? Huh? I'm getting off abortion right now. Top one. Yeah, I oh, the feedback. The feedback loop is okay, yeah. It's near okay. It's a new channel. Okay. Yeah. Why did he make a new channel? He has 2 channels? Good grief. Bro, what is he okay, grief. You guys are sidetracking me off abortion. You know how weird Eric McCade has to be? Sorry, taking all the magic away. You know how weird Eric McCade is that you're taking me off abortion, so I can talk about this weirdo. I really love the conversion to Catholicism and scandals of Catholic apologetics, guys. Good grief. Yeah. I don't you know what's weird is, like, Eric is he hides. He's also a coward, in my view. He literally blocked me. I bet he does. Eric blocked me on, Discord. He sent me a message, and, yeah, there was all things. Um, we love him. Um Can I have a mallet when I do it? But yeah, sure. Um, I honestly, when I was campaigning, I didn't even give 2 craps about him for the last, like, forever. I used to keep an insight on him a little bit just to be like, "What are you saying now?" And, I'm sorry, but does the one with confusing, does that not does that I'm sorry, but does that not look I didn't say I didn't love him. I just said that I wish I had a mallet when I was loving him. It's the same thing. Um, he's gonna take this out of context, and that's fine. Um, I wouldn't expect anything else. Um, that's so funny. Why would he make another channel, guys? Why is he making another channel? Also, why does he have a picture of Pope Francis? Still, it's been a year. Oh no. Does he? Yeah, he still posts here. No, he's got Heschmeyer. Oh, oh, that's so sad. You know how sad that has to be that he is literally reacting to just Heschmeyer? And then he has to at Heschmeyer, put Heschmeyer's face in so people click on that. These thumbnail games, I swear, people are dishonest with their thumbnails, and I'm like, I know, I swear. Like I make my own thumbnails. I use AI, but they're the prompts are all from me. So, yeah. Oops, Pope Francis is like his favorite. Yeah. Uh, nah. But anyways, good grief. I have not kept up on him in so long, to be fair. See, here's the thing. So here's the thing. Good grief. So here's the thing. I hate these thumbnails. This thumbnail specifically, I hate because he's in it, but then he just adds a few other people. And the thing is that that's every thumbnail, right? Like, I probably wouldn't have cared if it was that one, but it's like, oh, look, here's Heschmeyer, but he's not in it. You know, oh, here's reformed Zoomer. He's not in it. You know, oh, here's still not him because nah. Like he's not in his thumbnails. Like at least with mine, like the one tonight. The one tonight. Hold on, let me go to the one tonight. Like the one tonight. Adrian and Joe are in there. Or Heschmeyer and Adrian are in there. Lila and the other people. They're there. But I'm in the photo by my logo because I'm never gonna make soy jack faces, mainly because of the fact that I have enough testosterone not to. So reformed. Oh, did I say? Did I say reformed Zoomer? Oh no, I said redeemed, didn't I? Okay, forgive me that it's three different letters. So, anyways, that's funny. I didn't even see. I didn't even see that I did that. Um, please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Uh, please don't. You know how much like pain I went through when I put in like my actual like. Hold on, I'm gonna do this one more, and then we're getting back on. Charlie classes. You want to see a live interpretation of Heschmeyer though? Hi guys, welcome to Shameless Popery. Yeah, you want the glasses? Here's the glasses. Ha! You think I wear contacts? Joke's on you. I'm too German. 2020 vision. Uh, but anyways, uh, I'm being mocked mercilessly. So, anyways, so I'm going to talk about abortion since everyone is now making soy jack faces. So let me. So this is House Bill 1168. Now I talked with a state rep who made Senate Bill 612. That got killed by our Supreme Court, so that was no longer valid. So this session they made this new law. Now, problem being, oh yeah, peak 2020. So here's the problem of this bill. So it's only 4 pages. And honestly, the fourth page is filled up with representative gobbledygook that we don't need to concern ourselves with. Now, this is just a summary. I've gone through a few bills that I'm kind of getting some familiar with this, but so with this being enacted by the people of Oklahoma, so this is section 1. The new law to be inserted, A to be used in this act, and A is just defining terms. So abortion, abortion-inducing drug, preventive contraception, trafficking, unborn child. Now we get to B. B is when we actually describe in the law. So this is why I want Adrian to pay attention to why this law is not actually something that live action should be parading as a success. A person who knows or has reason to know that another person intends to use an abortion inducing drug to cause an unlawful abortion and who knowingly or intentionally delivers an abortion drug to the person or possesses with the intent to deliver the drug to the person commits trafficking in an abortion inducing drug and is guilty of a felony upon conviction. And so then that serves about $100,000. It's about $100,000 or 10 years in jail, I assume. Yes. Or a combination of both. Now, oh, wow. So, first, we're just going to deal with, actually, we're going to continue reading. D. This act does not apply to a pharmacist or a manufacturer or distributor of the drugs who lawfully manufactures, possesses, offers, sells, or distributes in the usual course of that entity's business, profession, blah, 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 blah. Nothing in this act may be constituted to prohibit the use, sale, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why they add this. I'll be fair. E is basically saying you can still sell condoms, which condoms and abortion drugs are two different things. So I don't know why, or contraception pills are two different things from abortion pills. Like this is not something that you take. This is not plan B. This is plan Z. Like this is plan Z. This is the end. So, anyways, I'm having fun tonight. Okay, that's rough. So, what I want to get into though is Adrian tries to say, what was he saying earlier? So he tried to say that has covered the issues and that they're not pretending that's an issue. Now they think that Oklahoma has outlawed it. Here's what I want to tell you: copy and paste link. Yep, that's basically what he did. That's what Adrian did. He didn't read it. And in my response, I told Adrian, "Lol, you didn't read the House bill, did you?" And the reason I say that is let's go back up to B. Right here. Right here. So that's all that we have to care about today. A person who knows or has reason to know that another person intends to use an abortion drug to cause an unlawful. What? What did I copy and paste? I didn't copy and paste anything, bro. Yeah, I agree. What, Evan? I didn't copy and paste stuff. I didn't copy and paste anything. Um. So it says a person who knows, or has reason to know that another person intends to use an abortion drug, and they either deliver or possess it in order to then deliver it, is committing trafficking. So here's the thing: as a man, I have these pills, and if I gave them to a woman, I would go to jail. Now, these pills were designated for a journalistic inquiry, so I'm not. I don't have a link. There was no link. I don't know what link you were getting on. There was no link. There is no link, bro. There is no link. Unless you're saying those are somewhere else other than the YouTube. Hey, Portugal won. Yeah, Evan, there's no link. So as a man, getting these to then give to a woman, giving these to a woman puts me in jail. Makes me get a fine, all this jazz. So if I give her the mifepristone and the mifepristol, this would be a crime. I go to jail for up to 10 years. I go up to jail for 10 years, or I would be fined about $100,000 if I was to give this to a pregnant woman, right? All men are guilty in this law. Here's the thing: if I'm a woman, so as I pretended when I got these, let's say I was Elizabeth. If Elizabeth gets these pills and gives it over to another woman, she is also guilty of trafficking these abortion pills. But I can't help it. It's pertinent. But if I'm a woman and my name is Elizabeth and I desire to get these pills, I'm just doing this just to upfront Evan, just for the fact that you mentioned it. If I get these as Elizabeth and I take it, I could take this right here in front of you, and nothing in Oklahoma law will stop me. You cannot stop abortion in Oklahoma. Why? Because you just said that if a woman gets it, if a woman gets abortion pills by herself, she is perfectly in order to take the pills herself. because you have to either deliver the pills to the person or possess it with the intent to deliver to that person. So, meaning if a female purposely, let's say, let's call it a woman, like I was pretending to be, Elizabeth, gets these pills because she doesn't deliver them and she takes them herself, it's perfectly legal. In the state of Oklahoma, oh, you could have an abortion. I could have an abortion right in front of you if I was a woman. I'm not joking. If I was pregnant and I was a woman, I could take these mifepristone pills right in front of you, and you wouldn't be able to stop the abortion and the death of a child. That's how low Oklahoma thinks of children in the womb. Wow. And so when Adrian wants to say that they're fighting them, and so, um, you know, it what he brought up, live action is covering and saying, "Hey, look, we're winning." No, you're not. This bill is indicating that you are going after everyone but the main contributors of abortion, and that is women. But no, guys, I'm sorry, I forgot. Women are victims unless they go, but based on this bill now, they're not victims if they purposely get the pills in order for another woman to have an abortion. But all men are evil perpetrators of abortion. So it's a sexist law. This law is literally sexist because now it says that all men are guilty of giving out abortion, which they are, but not all women. I'm going through it somewhat. But Adrian, here's the thing. This is why both of them interact with each other. Is no, it's not W sexism, Evan. It's an L because not the women are not being hit with it because they're victims. They're victims, guys. They're victims. They don't know what they've done to themselves, but yet if another woman does it, she's not. So I pointed this out to Adrian, and this is why he's also in the thumbnail. This is why he correlates with Heschmeyer. Uh, so I asked he had to read it because the women, the mothers, or the mothers, right, in quotes, don't get under this law. They're able to get the pills, which I'll be fair, is very easy. I got 4 of them. It's easy. They can get these pills. So this law is not a W. So don't live action. You shouldn't be celebrating and be like, well, live action is covering it. Live action is covering that it's a W. It's not, if you actually think about it. And so I basically was arguing. Uh, I basically was arguing that the reason that we don't like these type of conferences is because nothing comes out of it that is effective. Because like, oh, this law, we just got this law passed. Congrats. It's not working. And so I'm asking then the reason we don't like these conferences is because it's completely sidestepping that the conference does no good. All it does is give pro-life women a reason to meet each other. That's it. It doesn't change the law. I don't even know how much of the culture it changes. All it does is this piety signaling of that we're fighting for abortion. But when it comes down to it, you have to fight abortion through the law. And we're not currently seeing that. And so I basically told Adrian because he was saying something about that he actually had some genuine curiosity over why we don't like this. It may not have been here, but he was asking what live action could be doing. And I basically was like the last section that I wrote, which was, does it stop abortion from taking place? Does it change the law? And that's why we don't want the conferences. Conferences are empty gestures. And he still didn't understand it. They were just saying, it's like, stop having conferences. No, that's not the answer. No, that's half of the answer. Like, and this is what I'm saying. He can't be this thick. You're also an apologetic guy. You can't be this thick. For real. Lila Rose and her $40,000 paycheck. You know what's funny is I don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I've probably done more, I probably did more pro-life work than Lila has done this entire year. So, and the reason that I'm adding this and combining this is that these Catholic Inc. people, it's like they're they're idiots. uh, can't be this thick. Pine Sap would like to talk to you. Uh, I'd love to talk to Pine Sap again. Bring him on. uh, yeah, I'd love to go get your. uh, I'm trying. I'm applying. I gotta find a job. That's why I haven't like streamed like I would normally. I'm finding. I need to find a job before I do anything else. So, but the point that I'm bringing up, and this is kind of, I think we're getting to the end, is that Adrian, and I also extended an olive branch. Here, I also have my own. I guess Sips with Sarah. Is he? Am I his number one hater? Nah, he's a chill dude. He's a chill dude. I just think he's dishonest now, or I think he's not thinking, because I extended an olive branch to him because he was like, "Well, I don't know why you guys are having problems," and so when I told him, "Well, hey, why don't we have a stream and we could talk about this together?" And he basically told me in the DM that, well, I currently have two apps and some social media stuff and my family. I'm just far too busy to deal with this. So let me get this straight. To figure out the intelligence or the intellect, the intellectual conversation, you abandon it because it strikes notes hard on you. How's that any different than when Heschmeyer is saying, well, you're unpleasant, and so I don't want to deal with this conversation. And it's like they're running away from these conversations because they're, one, not prepared for them, and two, what they do have is not quality fact or argumentative steps. And I think that's why they're running away. Um, Maybe we'll see, shorty. And so it just, this bothers me because, again, this is what I dealt with when I was in college. When I was in college, they couldn't critique me enough. I actually stumped my college priest. Like, he eventually started running away from the conversation because it wasn't because the fact that I wasn't able to argue well. It's the fact that I argued too well. And this is why I say with um and this is why I say with the Catholic King, it's like they don't see their weakness. Like, Heschmeyer does not see that when he walks away because it's unpleasant. What you're basically saying is that your view is unable to be defended. And the same thing with Adrian. He ran away from this conversation. I'm asking to have a conversation to say, hey, this is why I don't think we should be having these conferences. I think we should be spending the money elsewhere. And instead of having that conversation, Adrian runs. And when Tim and Joe go to Heschmeyer and say, hey, you were saying some things about the patriarchy that we think are wrong. Let's have a conversation about this. Brother or brother. Watt runs away. And I'm tired of that behavior. And especially for a lot of young guys, we're tired of that behavior. We're tired of having our Catholic guys run away because the conversation is too hard. Then get a brain. You know, for all the intelligence Heschmeyer has for probably going to that Rome college and becoming this like theologian guy, you would think that he'd be able to argue well enough that he doesn't need 5 days of research. It's a conversation. Spend that. Spend 5 minutes. Doesn't take that long. It's just it just, this bothers me because these are our like figures, these are our head guys, and they're running away like cowards. And it makes Catholicism look bad. It makes it look like we're a bunch of we're a bunch of um unintelligent rubes that we can't actually have a conversation about what we believe. Because There you can only have like, in apologetics, you can only do so much apologetics before you actually have to figure out, okay, well, what does the faith mean? And what's weird is these guys, they will critique, Protestantism, but when it comes down to actually, like, figuring out what Catholicism should mean in your life, they don't wanna have that conversation. And, based on voice of reason, I'm wondering if the reason they don't wanna have that conversation is because could it be that there's worse things behind the scene? You know, Joe used to work for, Church Militant. What's his name? Uh, what was what was it? Michael Voris, right? He used to do the Vortex, right? And then he got caught with gay corn. Like, for all the crap you wanna give out, you need to defend it. And you're running away like cowards. And I'm sorry, but Catholicism is not a religion of cowards. Like the saints, there's a buttload of saints that fought hard. Mother Teresa probably was like, "Huh, some of these Indians are stinky." They were unpleasant. She still served them. Why? Because that was Christ's love. And yet, for a brother who is straight away in your view, Heschmeyer, you don't want to talk to because they're unpleasant. Get over yourself and accept some humble pie. And for Adrian, you're chill. If you want to have the conversation, I'm more than happy to. Um, but yeah, I'm not having. But Heschmeyer, I'm not talking to you. And Reform to Rome, I'm not caring either. If you're gonna argue like that, I'm gone. So, uh, anyways, loves you probably. I I don't know what I think about the SSPX. Let's put it this way: if Rome is saying that they're excommunicated, then they're excommunicated. Um, let's see. Spend money to talk about saving babies. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why is it that we're not? But again, this is the other thing too. They champion probably that House Bill 68, 1168, but it doesn't do what it should be doing because it doesn't go after the mothers. Like I said, if I was a woman, I could take the pills right in front of you and no one would be able to stop me. So, bro, that's not hard to be fair. You know what I think we need in a conversation? That's so true. So true. Um, we need to make a committee that will discuss the problem, create an organization to stop it, possibly. Yeah. I'm tired. Like, I'm also tired of the pro life people who are like Kristen Hawkins. Have you ever heard her try to argue? Like, this is the same thing. I'm also talking about another Catholic. She can't argue to save her life. And it's not because she's a woman, it's because of the fact that she keeps arguing with college students who don't know any better. So she's like always like one step ahead of them, but she can't argue. She just goes into some shouting matches at some point. And it's like, you're acting like the kids. Ew. How many of those people talk about how to pray, how to confess, and how to have the proper yeah, indeed. Well, and that's why I'm saying if, Hawkins is this a Catholic guy or is this Stephen Hawking? Evan, but, like, this is what I'm saying, like, Catholic answers, though, like, and this is what I was talking about, is like, Catholic answers only goes you so far. At a certain point, you have to find, like, Gordon to talk about the patriarchy and how to be a man, or Mike Pantile. There we are. You have to figure out, like, what they like, how do you use your Catholicism, right? And that's where these other channels come in, and that's where the Red Top Report with Joe Enders comes into play. That's where, the Rules for Retrogrades with Timothy Gordon comes into play. This is where Scholastic Answers come into play, Doresh Thomas, right? Like, all these guys who are talking more than just what the faith, or how to defend the faith, but how to live the faith. Or like Pines. Pines talks about it too. Um, yeah. Oh, Hawkins. Okay, that Hawkins. Yeah. Sorry, Kristen Hawkins. Yeah. Yeah. She can't argue to save her life. I don't know why. I don't know how she leads. She's worse than Lila. She's more of a feminist. Lila at least is pretty looked at and is feminine. So when she gets touted as the feminist, it's like people look at you funny. But then when Hawkins is hit with it, it's like, yeah, kind of meshes. She's loud. She's aggressive, and not in a good way. To be fair, um loud women is actually probably a I probably said the same thing, didn't I? Yeah, but to be fair, Frad would never have Gordon on anymore, because his bosses look a lot like this. Sorry, let me do it again. Yeah, all his bosses look like this. What are you talking about, True Cell? I'm gonna get married someday, and it's gonna be glorious. So, anyways, yeah. Anyways, that's all I wanted to get on to tonight. Very short, very simple. I just wanted to one defend Gordon and Joe. Joe is a friend of the channel. Um, I'm gonna excuse me, I'm gonna burp apparently. Joe has been on the channel a few times. We need to have him on for the council Zoomers again. But Joe, I know after watching Joe, because I was a watcher before I was a fellow creator. I know Joe's got honor in his veins, and I trust Joe more than I trust Heschmeyer. And so I felt duty bound to kind of say some of this. So yes, I picked a side. I picked my friend's side because I trust them when they say how to be a Catholic. I trust them more, Heschmeyer, because I can respect them. You're gonna have to work to earn any. And then Gordon, I found out about him because of the patriarchy, and that actually helped me. I definitely, when I first started reading the book, I freely admit that I kind of was a dick about it. I think the first year, the patriarchy stuff, you kind of get a little edgy. I got out of my edgy phase real quick, so I was very fortunate. But I've okay, I didn't finish, but I got close to. But I almost finished all of Case for Patriarchy. I also have his wife's book, so mainly so I could mainly so I could give it to my wife whenever. But also so I can read it. I ironically I ironically gave the Case for Patriarchy to my sponsee who just got married because I'm like, "Hmm, I wonder." So, yeah. Well, you're lucky, Evan. So, but, you know, again, that's all I have for tonight. SSPX, I'm not too, you know, walking away from Rome. It's not a good idea. It's like we don't like the Protestants for doing the same thing. Why would we expect any difference? So, I don't even know what Gamergate is because there's like every other day there's a Gamergate. Oh yeah. Speaking of, yeah, the patriarchy phase, the like get rid of the weird edgy of um, we need to repeal the 19th Amendment, right? And you kind of get a little like edgy with it. It's like okay, yeah, but don't those are the topic. It's like the Jew. Wait, can I say it? Yeah, the Jew phase. Like you can tell like there's people like Pine Sap where they actually like have conversations, and then you go over to some of these weirdos who are like, "Oh, you're Jewish," you know. Um, agree, totally, yeah. But that's you know, But, like, this is what I'm saying with the Jew question. There's, like, those serious people like Gordon that talks about the patriarchy, and then there's the weird guys who are like, "Yeah, I think women should be second class citizens." You know? Uh, yeah. There's certain, like, maturity, right, of lawyer. It's not like this edgy humor. Like, you could do some of it, but it's like, it's if it's just what you always do, it's kinda hard. Um, so, um, anyways, but I like to tell you all, speaking of Gamergate, so y'all remember Nick Mercs? So I'm gonna give a little shout out to the future plans of the channel. Y'all remember Nick Mercs? So during June, 1 year or so ago, he said that the trans people should stay away from the children. He should leave the kids alone, right? And that was a whole massive thing that happened. He got his operator pack removed from Call of Duty and all. And then Tim the Tap Man had to do the same thing because they're both Call of Duty guys. Well, um, all that happened, the Call of Groomers. So after that happened, I did because unlike most conservatives, I actually boycott things. So I boycotted Call of Duty, and that's why I haven't been playing Call of Duty on this channel, even though I am actually really good at Call of Duty. I will tell you, I played Black Ops 4. It's my favorite, which I know people are gonna hate me for, but it's my favorite, which is weird. For some reason, every one Call of Duty that everyone hates, I love. So it's like it's weird. It's this little like table. It's like I'm over here and everyone else is over here. So it's like we're always in this perpetual act of like tipping. Like I like Infinite too, but that's also because I like Titanfall. So, but I walked away. Well, I'm getting tired of trying to find a different game, and I recently played like a match or two of Call of Duty, and I think I might be returning. And so I'm actually going to break the boycott. Yeah, I know, Evan. It's a good thing, but because I can't find anything. Like I was gonna play X Defiant, but then it shut down because Ubisoft. So I think I'm going to come back to Call of Duty, and I'll be streaming that. We did ironically. Um, but I think I'm going to be playing Call of Duty. I think whenever I get back into the scheme, I'm gonna keep Magic, the Gathering. I'm gonna do Call of Duty, and then we're gonna do like what I'm doing tonight or politics. So and then those will kind of interchange depending on my schedule and just life. But I'm waiting to do more of that whenever I get the job, so that way I can actually like um figure out how my schedule is going. Okay, I technically have Black Myth Wukong. I do have Black Myth Wukong, but I never had a computer. My first computer I had, my first PC, kept overheating. That's why if you watch any of my earlier streams, maybe I may have deleted them. You'll notice that they like black out for like a couple minutes. That's because my computer is trying to like get back on. So fortunately, I bought a new PC that I'm running on with like an i9, a 5060. Like I put money into this PC. Um, so I could play a Souls game, but we'll see. I actually still have I bought Legacy. What did I buy? Yeah, I bought the new Lego Batman, so I might play that first. I bought the new Lego Batman because I am nostalgic. Because I am that nostalgic guy that will buy. Literally, great example. I was out on vacation. We went to a Goodwill. You know what I found for 250? Well, one, that bowling pin. But two, I found a kickball, and then it was red. And the thing is, it was that rubber one. It was like it was reduced some air, so I had to grab one end, but I slapped the ball, and I got the nice boom sound, and I was like, oh, like it was great. It was glorious. I was happy. Um, yeah, I'm so nostalgic for those days. So, um, I'm also thinking if I have children, it will be good to have. It's like this was back in the day when public schools could actually beat your ass and you'd be okay. so so that should be the plan. Life is still kind of life, and so we'll see how everything goes in the next few weeks, months. I don't know. You know, I am going to be streaming just whenever I please. So for right now, until I get more of a life situated, I'm not. But I may have DoorDash on. I may have some of them. I may have DoorDash on. I might get Joe on. I might try to do a um council Zoomers. Get at least something, so at least I'm somewhat streaming. I might play Call of Duty for y'all. So we'll see. Um, but yeah, I think that will do me for tonight, guys. It's 10 and get everyone on. I'll try. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can ask, let's say in a week or so, see if I can get Joe and all them on. Yeah. Yeah, we're not doing Catholic Avengers. Yeah, that's the Council of Zoomers. Yeah, the Catholic Avengers. Didn't Gordon? No, not Gordon. Didn't Tim? Not Tim. Uh, Trent say Catholic Avengers was something else. So we had to be something else. Because I remember I was having this conversation with just a Catholic and others, and we had to be like the Thunderbolts or something. But anyways, I think that's it for me tonight, guys. I have a date with Project Darkside. I need to make that video. I keep saying like, "Hey, I did this project," but I keep not saying how I did everything, so I need to get doing that. So hopefully, this is the last time you'll see the Pokeball and me popping out this information. But um, it's gonna be fun. I'll just say that. So, anyways, guys, getting close to 2 hours. Okay, maybe we'll see. Evan. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. Just in from SSPX headquarters, they were only excommunicated to save them from Brazil. Okay. So, anyways, thank you all for talking to me, rambling tonight for 2 hours. Adrian, if you want to have this discussion, ball up and we can have it. Heschmeyer, ball up and face who you should be actually talking to. And to the rest of you, thank you for being here. And I think I bid you adieu tonight. Thank you all for being here. Um, um, that is that's an interesting one. A dinner with Charlie Kirk or a dinner with George Floyd. So do I want to be robbed or have a dinner? I would say Kirk. I wouldn't have it though. If you were like, if you want a dinner with a left or right guy, I wouldn't on either. But yeah, I'm beyond the MAGA guys. But what? Yeah, no. Isn't she like 18 or something or 19? It's like I'm almost 25, bro. Um, like no, I can't do that. So interested. There's so much going on. She is not 28. She okay. I'm literally about okay. We're almost done. So let me. But Sophie Rain is not. She is not 28. She's 21, bro. She's 21. uh, she's 21. Which hold on. So she's 21. And I'm okay. She's like right below my age range and good. She likes better. Yeah, no. We're not having that. We're not having that. So, anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. I will be back whenever we get life situated. Um, other than good grief, Evan. Other than that, traditional YouTuber stuff, hit the like, sub, and whatnots. So thank you all, Evan. It's been a pleasure. Sporty, you as well. Thank you, Buster, for popping in as well from Twitch. But yeah. Oh, and Ubra, you're here. Ubra, you're here. Yeah. Anyways, have a good night, y'all. I'll see you whenever.